Hey folks, how you doing? Today I want to look at some arpeggios that we can use over dominant chords, 4 arpeggios specifically, that are going to give us a really tasty, spicy outside sound, okay? But we're not just going to look at these arpeggios, we're going to look specifically at how to combine these arpeggios, and this is something that's really changed the way that I approach soloing, the way that I approach specifically soloing over dominant chords. And it's really given my lines a lot more sort of interest and made them a lot more tense and dissonant and all the rest of it. So I'm going to show you these 4 shapes and I'm going to think about how to combine them. If you like this sort of thing, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, it really helps the channel. And let's just get into it. So the first shape that we're going to look at is an augmented triad, okay? And we're going to be working today in the key of C. So we're going to imagine that we're soloing over the G7, which would be our 5 chord. And the augmented triad that we're going to look at is a G augmented triad, or a B augmented triad, or an E flat augmented triad, because these augmented triads are symmetrical. So a bit like diminished triads, you can move them up and you still get the same notes, just in a different order, and you get a different chord. So the first pattern that I really want you to learn is this one. Okay, you can play that over a G7 all day long and it's going to sound really good because you've got the sharp 5 in there. But like I said, we're going to look at combining these arpeggios. We're not going to look at using any of them individually, because it's really when we start to combine them that the magic really starts to happen. So the second arpeggio that we're going to take a look at is a D7 flat 5. So the second pattern that you need to know is this. Okay. The third one that we're going to learn is the tritone sub. So if we were in the key of C major and we were to put a tritone sub instead of go to a tritone sub instead of going to the G7, the tritone sub that we would use would be D flat 7, because it contains the same tritone, that B and that F, that we get in the G7, okay, which makes it nice and unstable. So the tritone sub pattern that we're going to learn is this one. Okay, and again we're going to try and arpeggiate that all over the neck. Okay, so that brings us to our last one. And our last arpeggio that I want you to learn, and you're going to be really familiar with this one probably anyway, is our B diminished 7th arpeggio, which we can also use over the G7, because in this arpeggio we get the 3rd, the 5th, the flat 7 and the flat 9 of the G7. Okay. It's really important that you know these and you know them confidently, okay? You can play them backwards and forwards all up and down the neck, okay? So that's the first bit. We've got our 4 arpeggios. All 4 of these individually on their own will work really well over a G7, but here's where the magic is. We're going to combine them and we're going to look at how to combine them, okay? For the purpose of combining these arpeggios, we're going to imagine, or we're going to think about, really frets 3, 4, 5, 6 up to about 7. If we take these 3 arpeggios, or these 4 arpeggios rather, and we imagine that we were going to substitute some of these chords in our 2, 5, 1, if we would take our 2 chord, D7, typically we're then going to go G7, or we might go add the sharp 5 on there, and then we're going to go to our 1 chord, our tonic. But let's just imagine instead we're going to go D7 to D7 flat 5 to the tritone and then to the tonic. We get this. So we can superimpose this over the 5 chord. Even if the 5 chord is just a regular old G7, we can still superimpose. We could also superimpose, because we've got our B diminished 7th triad, and we can mix these up. So let's just take a look at how we might do that. And these are just some examples. What I want you to do is just mess around with this, because it's not until you mess around with it and come up with your own ideas that you're really going to get confident with this, okay? So I'm just going to show you some examples. This time I'm gonna just play something over the D, where the D7 would be, just play a little line. And then over the where the G7 would be, I'm going to play a D7 flat 5 followed by the tritone, and then resolve it to the 3rd of the tonic, okay? So you can hear that we've got that, and that is replicating that. So we're just combining really that chord and that chord with these two arpeggios, and then just a little sort of approach tone up to the third. So let's just try that again, and this time I'm going to arpeggiate, maybe I'm going to arpeggiate this our D-7 flat 5 followed by our tritone, and then maybe try our sus, not our sus4, sorry, our altered chord, our augmented chord. So what I want to think about now is pushing this out. So when we're comfortable in this area, we want to try and expand and start moving up here, okay? This time I'm going to show you a little run that I like to play. We're gonna actually combine the augmented triad with the tritone sub, followed by the diminished arpeggio that I showed you, okay? And that goes like this. And let's just hear that now over a G7 chord in context, resolving to the C major 7, and just hear how it sounds. So again, what you really want to be trying to do here is you want to be trying to combine these ideas. And of course, the idea is that you come up with different combinations of these. So you could also experiment with something like playing the root and the third of the I don't know, the D-7 flat 5, followed by the third and the sharp 5 of the augmented, and try and mix those two together. I don't know whether that's going to sound good or not because I haven't tried it, but my point is I want you to take these and really kind of try different combinations, different ideas, because the more that you mess around with this, the more that you get confident with these patterns in different keys, the easier this is to do on the fly. And of course, the rule of everything with any music at all, whether it's jazz, blues, rock and roll, whatever it is, if it sounds good, it is good. So experiment with it, mess around with it, and just try and get combinations that start to sound cool and interesting and engaging and give you a sense of direction. And that's really all that matters. All that's left to say then is that if you've liked this video, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It really, really does help. Do subscribe to the channel. That really helps as well. Drop me a comment. Let me know how you're getting on with this. Let me know what your favourite ways to solo outside or over dominant chords are. And until next time, keep making music.